Hello, hello. Let's see. Am I forgetting something? I don't think so, but yeah. VOD reviews. This one. Hollywood, yes. Unranked, okay. So I have all the information correct for this review. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Here we go. Alright, I think we should be set. Yeah, what up, Kolaf? How are you doing? I'm doing good. Just waiting for season 2 to start. And I cannot wait to hear what Blizzard has to say in their Twitter space about the Overwatch 2 patch notes. I have a feeling that's gonna be pretty comical. And I swear to God, if they do more, if they talk more about data, like they have been talking before, I'm gonna make a video on that. I'm gonna be making a video on how bad this whole data quest they're going on is negatively affecting the game. But as the patch, we don't really know too much. We have seen a few videos from content creators that were invited to play test formats early. And from those, apparently Sojourn has some fall off now. Doomfist got giga buffed. So there seems to be some wacky stuff. Maybe there will be some good stuff, like Sojourn nerfs are probably good, but I really wonder if that is even going to actually deal with the Sojourn problem in high level of play. I really do wonder. And you know what? Considering that the devs said that they wanted to get more data, they wanted to wait before doing anything to Sojourn because they didn't want to quote-unquote dumpster her in low tiers, right? Because she is only good in high tiers. Imagine nerfing her when she's already bad in low tiers, right? The low tier stuff, I've talked to a bunch of people in lower ranks and they say that Sojourn is dominating there. So that's already a lie by Blizzard. And or maybe statistically it is correct, but the player feel isn't. Right? And player feel is one of the most important things in the game, right? It doesn't matter if something is quote-unquote balanced, but it is completely unfun to play against, right? Sombra, for example. Sombra is one of the most boring characters in the game, if not the most boring character in the game, right? Sombra might be balanced. I really feel like you basically don't want to ever see Sombra in your games, because she just makes the game completely unfun. Especially now in a one-tank environment where she just goes tick, 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 on your tank, right? And then your tank's life is miserable. There's cheese characters that it doesn't really matter if they're balanced, you don't want to see them play, so just balancing around stats is stupid. Which is what Blizzard loves to do, right? Blizzard loves stats. Blizzard loves data for some dumb reason. But yeah, I really wonder if like the nerfs that apparently are coming to Sojourn are actually gonna be enough. And if Blizzard decided no, in the season 1, or rather in the mid-season patch for season 1, if they decided to nerf Sojourn and they made nerfs that were too small, would be completely fine, right? Because they tried it, they didn't have much time, but they at least tried to just make Sojourn more fun to play against and less oppressive, right? They have waited the whole season to address her. A whole season, right? They better get this right, because if they don't, I think that then it's gonna be very justified for us to be like, no, we're calling you out on your crap. You have taken all of this time to try to do a good nerf for her, and this is not a good nerf for her, right? One nerf I think that should be completely easy. The Blizzard shouldn't even have to think about it. Why does Sojourn keep her charge for 8 whole seconds? Like, imagine that. You're playing Sojourn, and then I'm spamming the enemy tank for like 1-2 seconds. Now you have a scoped Widowmaker shots ready for 8 seconds while you're not slowed down by being scoped in, because you don't have to scope in. You can move full speed, you can slide and then jump. The mobility that Sojourn has is nuts and should probably be nerfed too. And then, okay, she has the scope for 8 seconds. If she shoots someone once, a single shot lands, refreshes the timer, she can hold it for 8 more seconds. Alright, not 8 more seconds, it refreshes the time, so if it was like 4, it wouldn't go to 12, it would go to 8, right? But the important thing is it would refresh back up to 8 seconds, right? Which is insane. So it's basically like, okay, Sojourn has charge and she hits her shots. Okay, guess we have to hide for 8 seconds and just give them all the map space for free. Otherwise we just get one shot, yay! You know? It's just not fun gameplay. If she had a weakness like Hanzo, like Widow, where they are slowed when they're gonna shoot, they give you a warning when they're gonna shoot, right? If Sojourn had one of those things, it wouldn't be as obnoxious. In fact, I think that if Sojourn had something like this, you could maybe think about keeping her relatively unchanged outside of that fact, and she would probably become relatively balanced. There might have to be some tweaks because her mobility again is nuts, but that is very important, right? Where you're giving counterplay to her instead of it just being like, oh, my tank picked their head out for 1 second, now she has charge and now all the squishes have to hide, otherwise they just get one shot by Sojourn, right? Which is stupid. Also, one idea that I heard that was really cool was, instead of, let's say, slowing down for the shots, it was the shot has a delay. So you press the button and then the shot basically has to like channel and then boom, it shoots. You know? Basically the same idea as Mei secondary fire, where when you press the button, it starts creating the icicle and then it shoots, right? That could be a good idea, and then you could have a visual cue for that, right? You could have a visual where you have a bunch of energy around your gun, right? And it starts channeling down to a small orb and then it shoots a laser, right? It shoots the railgun. And then you could be like, okay, she's shooting, now I have counterplay. Okay, now that I know that she's shooting, I'm gonna deflect. In the same way that when a Hanzo draws his bow, I can be like, I'm gonna respect his shot, I'm gonna deflect. I'm playing against Widow, I see that she's scoped in, I'm gonna deflect. But if she's not scoped in, I don't have to deflect because she's not gonna be threatening to one-shot. While Sojourn currently just walks around like, when am I gonna press this? Boom! Oh, I one-shot you. No warning, haha! So funny. And yeah, the Genji nerfs and stuff are probably just a joke. There is no way that is... or at least, let me actually word this better. There's no way that all of that is true. There might be some actual nerfs in there, but when you see that those patch notes, quote-unquote patch notes, have Discord orb set 3 seconds, that's a lie. Because in the current game, Discord orb is at 2 seconds, not 3. It's 2 seconds for Discord orb and 3 seconds for Harmony. So those patch notes are at least partially false. I would assume that all of it is false. It seems like it is completely false, but that is some good way to try to be able to spot that that is probably just a complete farce. Complete lie. What up, Kev? How are you doing? Yeah. I'm gonna be streaming early today. Also, what up, Simon? What up, X-Ray? How are you doing? Let me check. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I have a Genji review after this one. Alright, with this out of the way, let's start the review. It's gonna be one support review and one Genji review.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Check your corners. Enemies in our
Ready for battle.
Look at this.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Do you see a problem in your strafe?
Defend
Especially at the start. Now the strafe is a little bit better. But at the start,
3, 2.
where is it? Here. You see how you're strafing? You can see the movement in the legs, but you're strafing so fast that your head isn't moving. I'm pretty sure the Kiev is just allowed to do that while she's at work. I don't think that it is a problem where she works, from what I remember. But yeah, going back to the review, right? Strafes on Lucio can be very obnoxious, but you have to know how to do them, right? And at the very start, and obviously it also applies to any character, if you do this, right? If you press AD too fast, can you see that I'm basically not moving? If I do this too fast, I'm gonna basically be standing still. And if you're basically standing still into a sniper, boom, they just shoot you, you're dead. Now they have a 5v4, and they possibly just cap, or you have to give up massive ground to them and ticks on the point, right? To be able to retake. So just be careful with strafing too fast, because a lot of I don't know actually how many players do that, but when players start learning to strafe, right? And they're like, okay, if you strafe, you're gonna be harder to hit. Sometimes they think, okay, let me strafe very, very fast. That's gonna be making me very, very hard to hit. Well, no, if you strafe too fast, you're not gonna be moving at all, right?
enemies in our The barrier appears. Barrier is nearly spent.
And yeah, if you're Widow dead, would love if you all backed up. Okay, there's some good stuff and there's some bad stuff here. If your Sigma is gonna keep this positioning, what up my old herding? If Sigma is gonna keep this position, and he's not gonna back, right? Because usually like, okay, your Widow died, she swapped to Echo and then she's coming back from spawn, right? Your Sigma probably doesn't want to hold here for long. You probably just want to spam the doors and then immediately back up. Maybe just take the stairs up here to hold this high ground and then fall back, or whatever. Or you maybe already set up here, right? As Lucio, you can help him reposition. If the Sigma wants to reposition, you can speed him back. You can even amp speed back, considering how close the enemy is. Try to prevent him from feeding, right? Also, your Sigma, if your Sigma is on voice, and your Sigma doesn't want to back, but you feel like he is in a dangerous position, you might be wanting to call, being the Lucio player, like, okay, Sigma, back up now, I'm speeding us out, right? Very important for you to be doing callouts like those on Lucio, for your team to be able to back up or push in as needed with speed boost, right? Because that's one of the main utilities for Lucio, the speed boost. Because if you're just gonna be healing, right, then you might as well play another character that outputs more heals and has better utility in that sense, right? Moira is gonna output more heals than Lucio in an area. Baptiste is gonna do the same while also being a really good damage dealer, you know? Obviously Lucio also has the boop, so he's a very good peeler. And has a different type of support out compared to Sigma and Moira, or not Sigma and Moira, Baptiste and Moira. But yeah. This is a good boop. And because of the Sigma shield, right, you get to do this wide peak where you're far away from cover, but you can cross the enemy entire LOS because of the shield and not go punished, right? And then you boop them away to try to help your Sigma. That's good. Why are you here now though? Is there any reason for you to do such a wide peak? And then you're walking into the enemy. Why are you walking into the enemy's LOS far from cover? If you want to shoot them, you can have an angle like this, where you're completely safe. If you need to, you can immediately back up to this corner and then cross over here, right? You can just keep shooting them from this corner where a soldier is. Okay, I'm in danger, boom. I'm safe. Shoot. Go back. Corners, right? Corner. Your Sigma is playing a corner. And also he's a tank and way more durable and has a shield. So, he is way more sustainable in this position. The moment that you peek out here, away from cover, without a shield, you are dead. Because you're just picking the entire enemy team, right? So you should probably just be hanging around this corner, trying to wait on your boop cooldown to try to boop them away from your Sigma, if your Sigma wants to hold up here. You can also use the speed boost to help your team kite as needed, right? But never do this. Never do this.
Switching tracks. Healing boost. I feel fight. Carry. I feel great.
Deine Pflicht ist nicht getan.
Oh man, they're getting up again.
Objective lost.
Okay, one thing here. Your Ana needs heals, right? But also a Cassidy is chasing you. In this position, your Ana can tank a body shot from Cassidy. A headshot kills. Your heals, considering that you don't have amp, are not gonna be very fast to be able to put her above the headshot range anytime soon. So you're better off just speeding her out, swapping to speed boost to make her run to cover faster instead of just healing, right? That's something that a lot of lower rank Lucios really fail at. They don't understand the utility of speed. Oftentimes speeding is better than healing because you can heal, yes, but if you speed, you're, instead of putting your health higher so that the enemy doesn't kill you from dealing damage to that health, if you speed them out, they don't take that damage in the first place because they're gonna be out sooner, right? A lot of times where the speed is gonna be healing, quote unquote, more than actually healing your teammates, you know? And this is such a case where you speeding your Ana out would be the best thing, because if you sped her out, she would probably already be hiding over here and be safe. What up, bastard? How are you doing?
Objective lost.
Oh yeah.
Stop the payload.
Ascending.
I'm doing good.
Behind
Just waiting for season 2. This is not really useful. You don't get anything from that, and you risk your life big time. You get out with like 20 HP. So not worth doing this play. Just put yourself in danger for no reason. Now you are also burning your amp to get out alive, right?
I feel this in my bones.
This is good. I like this. The problem is now that you're face tanking a Hanzo, you do kill him. But one thing I'm gonna say, when you're in a position like this, change your auras. First of all, the Hanzo threatens to one-shot you. That's dangerous, right? Change your auras so that your speed isn't constant, right? Sometimes you just randomly get a burst of speed from changing to speed boost, and that burst might not be very big, but it's enough to throw opponents off a lot of the times. And then also the slowdown from swapping from speed to heal, right? So swapping between auras in situations like this is very useful. That also can help your Echo by changing her speed so that it isn't constant against this Hanzo, right? But also you... Alright, oh wait. How did it go back here? Weird. Your Echo died to a headshot, so you probably couldn't have healed that unless the headshot was low charge. And then you do kill the Hanzo, which is good. Why are you amping though? It's only your soldier with you. And you were full HP, so you don't need to amp. Right? And now you're picking a Sigma on low HP. You barely get out alive.
Stop the payload.
Actuating the barrier. Behind you.
Oh, let's break it.
Yeah, this is not a good idea for a beat. Oh, you're dying? Okay, let me pull out the beats. You're just asking your opponents to be like, okay, if I hit this shot, I cancel beats, right? Very, very dangerous beat to try to do. WP? I don't know. Is that supposed to be a term? But yeah, one thing that I was gonna comment here. You are, a lot of the times you are full HP and you're still in heal. And your teammates don't need the heal. You're not in a position where your aura is helping them. Also, there's another situation where you're picking the enemy team and not considering your surroundings, right? You're literally in the middle of nowhere. Ah, okay. GG, well played. That's what WP means, well played. Right? Look at this. You could be playing here, you could be playing here, you could be playing here, you could be playing here. But you're in the middle of all of those. Not only that, you continue so. Instead of trying to cut the corner to get away from the Cassidy and then beat safely there, you keep going in the enemy line of sight, right? Not only that, if your teammates don't really need your heals, you should be speed boosting. Like I said before, Lucio's heal is not the thing that makes him strong. The thing that makes Lucio is the speed boost, right? The ability to help your team reposition. That's something that only Lucio can really do. Junker Queen has a little bit of speed boost in her shout. Kiriko has speed boost in her ult. But Lucio is the one character that you pick when you want your team to reposition better, right? and that's not something that you're using. And obviously it's complicated. You have to understand a lot of things in Overwatch to be able to properly know when you should be using each aura. But definitely can say for sure that you're using speed boost way too little. I wonder what your percentage is for each aura, but your percentage is probably something like 90% healing, 10% speed, right? Which is very, very low.
The barrier cannot withstand much more.
Your team is full HP. Why are you healing? Right? You should be speeding your team out of this position.
I'll turn it up.
Full HP, your Sigma is dead. You don't need the heals yourself. Why are you not only healing, you're amping heals instead of speed boosting out of there, right? And yeah, you're overstaying your welcome back here.
Sie werden dich nicht kriegen.
The enemy returns.
Not always gonna be a top hit.
Ash here.
I wonder what your deaths are. I'm not keeping track, but your deaths might be like the highest in your whole team.
The barrier cannot withstand much more.
Sie werden dich nicht kriegen.
Getting up again. Making use of that speed, I see. Pick it up, pick it up.
Barrier is nearly spent.
This beat will heal you up.
Again, you're over peeking the corner for no reason. You also probably shouldn't play off the handle like that. Your boop doesn't prevent him from doing anything, really, only puts you in danger of dying to a headshot, right? Just walk through a dragon feet. Oh, you died magnetic grenade because of the damage boost. That's why. I was thinking that you would live, but no.
Time for a remix. You want that louder?
60 seconds.
This amp's probably a waste. It's on a long cooldown, and you already have the walls to be able to use to get a higher speed coming out of spawn. Could have probably saved the amp to either amp heals on the points for the teammates that were contesting there, or just amp yourself be harder to hit if you were contesting, right? Or just obviously amping speed to make your teammates harder to hit.
30 seconds remaining.
Kiriko now?
1. Attackers incoming. Defend your objective A.
Carried on the wind.
Watch for that sniper.
Alright, your team traded, you're fair. Never mind. Since they have mercy, they're gonna get teammates back. Okay. Look at this. Full HP Ryan. Full HP Ryan. You don't really have to be healing him on his full HP. You can obviously heal and then weave in a shot. That's something that does not reduce Kiriko's speed at all on the heals. Putting one shot between, one kunai between heals. If you put more shots, then you slow down the heal, and that can be something that you're trading off, right? Okay, we don't need as many heals, so I'm gonna try to put more damage in. But when your Reinhardt is full HP, just focus on shooting. You don't have anyone to heal, right? Just shoot the enemy, pressure them out, and then when they take damage, you can heal, right? Such as now. Okay, good. That was a pretty good Suzu. Considering that the Reinhardt was trapped, right? I really like this teleport because it not only puts you in a position to help the Pharah, it also puts you in a position where you can bypass the choke with these Junkrat spamming it, right? The one problem with that is that then you're abandoning the Reinhardt, right? But yeah, if you're gonna be doing this play, you can also just TP to the Pharah and then try to wall climb here. Then you're in a position where it's harder for the enemy to contest you. You can heal your teammates from here. You can just heal the Rein while spamming the Orisa from a better angle, right? Which would be a good play if the Reinhardt was still alive, but your Reinhardt just died. Your Baptiste? Okay, no, your Baptiste is gonna live, I think. Yeah, that was... You see the Widow? If you're gonna be trying to do this, you should instantly Suzu yourself. Instantly Suzu, that you're invulnerable, and then shoot her. Or shoot, flick to the either the ground or the car to Suzu, become invincible, then go back and try to shoot her. But I also don't really see a reason for you to be trying to force point and try to be sneaky on that. Not like your opponents are not gonna be able to back up and touch it, right? I would much rather have you take some powerful positioning, or actually just be here on the points and instead of hiding, actively be shooting them from behind and also healing your team, because you can do that. There's no shield here to block your heals to your teammates, right? Or actually, I don't think that shields prevent Kiriko from healing. I think only something like Defensor Matrix. I could be wrong on that though. But yeah. And obviously, instead of doing this, you can also be on the high ground like I talked about before. And the thing is, now that you pathed behind them, you can just TP out to your team. So you're completely safe. So that can be a pincer play that you do, but the one thing that I wouldn't do is just hide behind point like this, not doing anything. As if I was gonna be getting a back cap when I'm not, right?
That was interesting.
Also, one thing that I'm gonna say, if you're gonna be trying to play Kiriko, the best playstyle for Kiriko right now, and I wonder if they're gonna come out with changes for this in Season 2, but the best playstyle for Kiriko right now is to literally just heal bots, get your ult as fast as possible, throw down your ult. Why? Kiriko ult is probably the best ultimate in the game right now. So if you can just heal bot, which is the best and fastest way to get your ults, if you can just heal bot, and obviously you can shoot between your shots, but by heal botting I mean focusing on heal instead of actually flanking and looking for damage. Maybe you flank and look for the kill on the Widow, right? You just actively heal, 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 heal. That's my main focus. I'm gonna do some damage here and there. I'm gonna have my Suzu I'm gonna have my TP, but my focus is heal, 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 instead of trying to maybe make my impact play by killing the Widow or something like that, and then you farm your ultimate very fast to throw that down, win the fights, repeat the process, right? Really hope that Blizzard changes this to make damage more important on Kiriko. Because they're rewarding the lowest skill playstyle in the game. With, the lowest playstyle, lowest skill playstyle for Kiriko right now. Instead of rewarding the actually very good Kirikos that know the timing of when they can go for kills, when they can go for pressure, and then know when they need to be able to help their team and bounce back from those aggressive positions, right? But yeah, just because you're the best playstyle is heal botting though doesn't mean that you can't take good positioning. So for example, you can just heal bot behind your Rhine shield, but you can also go up here and heal bot from here in a position where if the Reinhardt shield drops, you're not gonna be getting spammed by the Junkrat, right? You're not gonna be getting spammed by him. He's either gonna be trying to shoot you or the Reinhardt. And that also puts you in a better position to land shots, right? A lot of the times. There is an argument to be made that just staying in ground level makes it easier for Kiriko to land shots, because then you can just keep crosshair at head level, while here you have to shoot down your opponents. But there are also benefits from taking a high ground angle like this.
Freeze! Don't move! Nicht getan! Soothing your wounds. I'm here.
Okay, good, your TP. One thing that I'm gonna say here though, let's look at your movements. You're walking in a straight line over here. If the Junkrat wasn't tunnel visioning on the Rhine, looked at you once, shot you once, concussion mine, explode that, you're dead. You're making it completely free for him to just turn at you and insta-kill you by walking in a straight line. Again, high ground still allows you to do everything just from a safer position, or move in but don't move in this way. You also don't need to be this close to the fight. You can just let Rhine pressure points, and you're gonna still be able to do the same things if you're playing in a corner like this, instead of being more in the open on the point. Because now the moment that your Reinhardt lives, the Junkrat is forced to look for someone else, and the Junkrat finds you, right? Because you're in the open instead of in a corner that you can easily hug and be safe. You're gonna leave the trap, unfortunately didn't see it. Also, when your Reinhardt is full HP and he just shattered people, you should be damaging and trying to help kill the people on the ground, right? Instead of trying to heal the full HP Reinhardt. Yo, what up Regulus, how are you doing? Also, you could probably prevent that res. Just 2 headshots, right? Shouldn't be very hard to hit. Letting them res in front of you is bad. Although, see, that was a very good moment to damage, right? You did a lot of pressure to the Orisa with repeated headshots, right?
My gift to you.
Objective A captured. Escort the payload.
Careful. We're outnumbered.
Let them up.
Judge Tyson.
I don't think we're going to make it. Let's take them out.
Guys over. Rocket barrage incoming. Like a gentle rain.
Also when... Actually no, let me do this now. before I forget. Training, practice range. So, a few things I wanted to talk. On Kiriko,
I'll find my own path.
right?
And what did we learn?
Let's look at the speed at which you heal,
Restoring balance.
right? You see how it doesn't slow down? You can wave one shot between for free. So you should always be doing that, right? Heal, heal, shoot, heal, shoot, heal, shoot, heal, right? I have no idea, Tom. Alright. I mean, yeah, Tom, Ben, whatever. What would you rather have me call you? Probably Ben, right? But it depends on the balance changes, which we have yet to see. So that the weaving in the damage between heals, right? Obviously, you can see that if you're trying to just flick every time, the effectiveness is gonna drop. But if you're in a position like this, it's very easy for you to be able to land the shots. You don't have to move your crosshair a bunch, right? So that's free shots that you can weave between heals. Now for Lucio.
We're here to be heard.
One thing that I wanted to say. When you're dueling, you should probably be doing stuff like this, right? You see I'm swapping auras? So my speed isn't constant. So when I go for speed, I'm suddenly getting a little burst. And when I swap back to heal, I'm slowing down. So that can make winning the duels more likely because your speed isn't constant, right? You're always changing speed and making it harder for the enemy to be able to predict your movement because of that. Also, if you're trying to scheme off a wall, right? You should probably swap to speed before, and then if you want to heal, right? So let's say I want to heal my team, but I also want to scheme off this wall. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna swap speed to try to bounce off, and then swap back to heal. To go a little faster. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Maybe I'm just being dumb here, and that's not something that actually works. You can probably fact check that with actual Lucio players. I think SK made a really good guide on wall riding mechanics that you probably want to check out if you're more serious about Lucio. But at least I feel like that speed actually helps you go faster than if you are on heal.
Get into this groove.
I doubt that is a real patch note. You wanna know why? Zen Orb was, or Zen Discord Orb was at 3 seconds when in live it's 2 seconds, it's not 3 seconds. So I'm pretty sure that that's just fake. Pretty sure that's just fake because of that. Maybe there is actually some real nerfs there. I have no idea, but I think that it should be fully fake.
Let's do it faster.
And just a joke. Nuprain, how are you doing? 56 damage to him?
How's that for sound therapy?
I honestly, can I be very honest? I don't think that the devs are actually gonna be buffing Genji back. At least not soon. You wanna know why? Because the devs said that they were going to nerf Genji, and then they were going to change the DPS passive, and they weren't going to revert the Genji changes because of the passive. If he was too weak after that, the change on the DPS passive, then they would look. But they said that, okay, we're gonna nerf Genji, then we're also gonna nerf Genji again because of the DPS passive that we're gonna change, and we're not gonna revert immediately, we're gonna wait to have, guess what, data. At least that is, I'm pretty sure that's what was said. I don't remember exactly. Oh, it's just, I'm pretty sure it's just tomfoolery that was going around. Do I have anything else?
We're here to be heard. How's that for sound therapy?
Oh yeah. Here on tab you can check speed boost usage and healing boost usage. Right? I would guess that your healing usage was way too high and your speed boost usage was way too small.
Gotta go.
But yeah, as you can see, for example, my team has to cross in the open. Let's say that my team has to cross from here to there, right? I can obviously just walk like this. But look at how much faster this is, right? This is pretty substantial. Yes, I'm not healing my teammates, but I'm preventing them from taking damage, from making the rotation faster, right? So learning when to speed, when to heal is a very important part of Lucio. Now we're watching Hollywood.
Welcome, ready for battle.
Why would you have believed that though? Like that just screams BS to me. That just screams BS, like why? Blizzard didn't even come out with a statement on that, right? Before the game nerfs, they said, okay, we're looking at changes for these characters, right? The only one that was like a stealth nerf was Jung, and apparently that was something that they changed the moment that Overwatch 2 launched, not on the actual moment that they put the balance change, right? So it was just like, okay, we're actually acknowledging the fact that we did this change that we didn't talk about before. Well, this is fair, I just ulted the Orisa to kill her, but this is something that you can look out for. My DPS is trying to ult, or my tank is trying to ult, or whatever, right? I'm going to help them by using the Suzu, especially on something like Barrage, which is like very powerful if the Pharah stays alive, but it's very easy to kill the Pharah. If you actually time the Suzu, if you prepare yourself for that ult, TP to her, or you're close to her so that you can Suzu the moment that she ults, that's gonna be life-changing, right? That's gonna make Pharah either go from like, okay, either I kill them so fast that they don't get to kill me, or I hope that I get value, enough value before they kill me. 2, I'm probably just killing them and living, because that invulnerability timer is gonna be a lot of extra damage, right? Same thing with Reaper ult, for example. Reaper ult is something that in Overwatch League, oftentimes you would see the Reaper go for the ult and the Kiriko is immediately Suzuing the Reaper the moment that they start the ult, right? Perfectly timing that so the Reaper is invulnerable at the start of the ult, right? Which is oftentimes the most important moment. And again, not only can you TP to good positions, you can also wall climb as Kiriko. So you can take this position, you're able to heal the same while having a better angle to shoot people from, or a different angle to shoot people from, while also being safer from the enemy from having high ground. Or you can also take an angle like this and you can still see the people that you want to heal from here, right? And you can shoot opponents from different angles, same thing. Also, you have ults. You should very much ult this and try to get the cap. The closer that you are to the end, the more favored the defense is. So their spawn is close, well, your spawn is very far away, right? Very far away. So that is one reason why ulting here is good. Not only that, tier code is busted. So you should be trying to ult here and guarantee this fight win so that you get the second points. You get the close spawn as well as this fight win, and then you get to work towards your next Kirk ult, right? One thing that you have to be careful about is ulting and then having it stopped by the payload. The payload can stop, so you probably want to ult to the side. You want your crosshair to be in this area between these two things, right? The car and the corner, so that it doesn't get stopped by the payload and it goes all the way that your team can rush in, especially for Reinhardt, right? Or you just TP to your Reinhardt and you Kirk ult like this. The Reinhardt can just run all over them and the space that the cart has to move, right? Or you just go to the payload and ult above the payload, right? I'm pretty sure this works and shouldn't get stopped. There's no reason for it to get stopped.
Stay near the mortality field.
Ooh, yeah, you shouldn't have Suzu'd your Ryan. Should have saved Suzu, there was no reason to Suzu him. And then you also die for it. You also didn't even ult. A fight that you could have easily won with your ult. Also should probably just TP to your Pharah. There's no reason for you to be coming back slowly to the fight. And you have a TP that is 30 meters range.
Carried on the wind.
Regenerating.
Also, you see how much downtime there is? How long have you been just AFKing here for? Take a position, high ground. TP to your Pharah, heal her. Take a position, try to shoot them, maybe you got a pick off. Maybe you pressure the enemy out of positions, right? Or maybe you TP here to prevent them from actually taking high ground, right? But you're just sitting in a position where you're not doing anything. Why is your Ryan that died after you back in the fight faster? Right? Why is your Reinhardt back there faster than you are? When you have better mobility and you respawned earlier.
Kitsune is ready to be unleashed.
But yeah, the main mistake was just holding the ult. It could have already been a good way to your next ult.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Probably should have Suzu'd immediately because the Junkrat is just stationary and in open line of sight for the enemy to shoot at him. But the idea was there, right? The idea was there to help him. And let's see just how long you hold your ult for. Because remember, this is the strongest ultimate in the game. And you're not using it. You're also staying payload on your Reinhardt's payload and leaving your Junkrat critical for a long time. When you could have just been picking him and healing him very easily, or tipping him and Suzuing or whatever, right? To help him.
The breeze brings relief. 60 seconds remaining. Let the Kitsune guide you.
This is a good Suzu.
Under my protection.
One of the main problems of this ult though is that you are already in an advantageous fight. You only have 3 people. Your Reinhardt somehow fails to kill people when he is in your ult and he has shattered the enemy team, which is impressive. But yeah. And now you stop back Lucio. I don't see why it would be here. You have a Reinhardt. Speeding a Rein around is very important. Lucio is basically a must pick with Reinhardt because he needs to get up close to do stuff. And he often just can't do that alone. So being able to speed him so that he has an advantage in speed against the enemy team. They try to kite, but you're faster getting at them than they are running away from you, right? So, doing something like this where you're just playing close to your Reinhardt, always being able to put him on speed is good. But it's not like you gave him much speed there, you were just heal botting. Not necessarily like it was bad for you to heal there, and you did get a lot of heals done, right? But there are definitely moments where you just want to, okay, let's speed in aggressively. But it also, especially with Reinhardt, that usually requires him to like, okay, let me hide behind this corner that is close to the enemy, I'm gonna save my shield. And in 3, we're gonna be coming out of the corner, I'm gonna be shooting it until we get close, and then I'm gonna hammer them and we're gonna take a fast fight where we don't really want to be needing too many heals, right? We want to kill them before we need too much heal. So then we amp speed in 3, 3, 2, 1, speed boost in, the Reinhardt starts swinging, he has a lot of HP, so he probably can use that to go aggressive without needing many heals, right?
Leave a broken world behind.
Don't worry, I'll be right behind you.
And then you obviously can just swap to heal and heal a little bit, but speeding him in is probably way stronger. Also, what happened? I really hate how Overwatch seems to just randomly outstab sometimes. I didn't press a single button and I just outstabbed.
Just to warn
Like
you,
what?
don't have a lot of experience healing people who fly.
Just hit me in midair. How hard could it be? Treatment ongoing.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So now you're swapping Mercy to pocket the Pharah. You could also stay Lucio. With Lucio you can speed boost your Reinhardt and Reaper now, which are both characters that really benefit from the speed boost. Now the problem is, if you pick Mercy, you should not be heal botting your Rein. You should be absolutely staying with your Pharah. That's the purpose of doing this, right? Ez is not a good res. You're lucky that you even resed him, right? You're resing in front of the entire enemy team. But you should absolutely just be following your Pharah, trying to stay in the air with her. You were also just focusing on healing her when she was full HP, so probably very new to Mercy and just picked her because the team told you to, right? Okay, we have a Pharah, let's go Mercy. But yeah. Now your Pharah is AFK, nice. And yeah, that res ain't gonna work. I would say either pocket your Pharah as Mercy, or you just continue Lucio, speed your Rein and Reaper in, right?
Switching sides.
And then you're probably not gonna want to heal too much. With Reinhardt and Reaper, you really want to speed them into very good positions, very aggressive positions. And then let your BAP do the healing. Your healing is probably gonna be saved way more for when your Baptiste needs help, rather than my Reaper or my Rein need help. Because if those need help, but the BAP doesn't, the BAP can help them, right? Well, if
Leave a broken world behind.
if the BAP needs help, yes, BAP can help himself to a certain point, but you can also help him, right? And then after helping him, he can help the others.
I need. I thought the same thing.
But yeah, the main utility that you're gonna be having on Lucio is gonna be the speed boost, right? Otherwise, as I talked about before, you should probably be running something like
Has anyone ever told you that you're
like Baptiste or more, if you're just gonna be trying to heal, because those output more heals while also being able to do more damage, right? I don't really like Bap Anna. It's not necessarily bad, especially with a Pharah, so that you can help the Pharah. You can also just DPS more.
Objective A.
having two very good sources of healing. But it also depends on your positioning, right? Was a good attempt for a nade. Fortunately, you didn't lob it far enough. And yeah, this is something that you should never do. On Anna, high ground is even more important, right? Anna is a character that lacks mobility. Not only is high ground gonna be a good cover for her, high ground is also gonna let her land nades easier. You can see how easy it is to land a nade from here because, okay, this is my usual look. I can look down a little bit and then I can consider the arch. And then instead of being on the ground and then I have to consider, okay, my nade is gonna go a little bit in the air and then go down. I can have my nade start from a high place and then I only have to consider parts of that arc, right? The part where it goes straight and then the part that it drops, right? Probably gonna be the only parts that you have to consider when you're playing on the high ground and trying to nade. So angles like these make landing nades, landing any splash abilities. It can be Baptiste's healing too, right? Baptiste's immortality from a high ground position is way easier. And also, if you're trying to land a nade on them, you don't have to walk up like you did. You can just go here and learn the nade so that you can just throw the nade and boom, it lands here, right? Because if you're trying to walk into them to land that nade, you are dead. Doesn't really matter the comp, but especially into this comp with Lucio Mei, right? You're very dead if you're out of position this badly, right? And this should be the round.
I won't give in.
Yeah. Alright. And yeah, from what you said, no, it's not your teammates. It's definitely not your teammates. You definitely had the power to win that match yourself. You just didn't know how to. Which happens, right? It happens that you're gonna be learning and then fail sometimes, especially if you're a new player. But yeah, it's definitely a match where you cannot blame your teammates, you can only blame yourself, right? It was a close match. It was a close match. And not like it was all bad, right? But yeah. We talked about a bunch of things. I feel like one of the biggest things for you is also just gonna be to play the game more, right? Play the game more because you're newer to the game, right? Since you're unranked. But also, one of the main things that you have to learn is one, playing your life, you died way too often, and two, which is also related to that, positioning. You have to learn what is good positioning. That's gonna be one of the most important things. Because your positioning on Ana especially was horrible, right? You cannot be frontlining on Ana like that. And I'm gonna be making a video on my journey to top 100 combined soon, where I got Grandmaster on tank and support, and top 500 on DPS, right? What am I currently? Right? And that's gonna be, when I talk about support, there's also gonna be support gameplay, and I would highly recommend watching that for support positioning. Speed is such an underrated utility. I think it's only underrated in lower ranks. I feel like in high tiers, it has always been rated the correct way, which is this ability is broken, and it's something that only Lucio has, right? Because that's very common, especially in Overwatch League. Mobility is king. Always, always, always. it's like very often where that Lucio is meta. Goats. Goats probably wouldn't be a thing without Lucio. Yes, Goats was enabled by Brig, but Goats also needs the speed from Lucio, right? And a lot of the stuff needs the speed from Lucio, right? More recently, you could see the Lucio with the Reaper, right, in the zombie comp, right? Quote unquote zombie comp, or the banana rush. Lucio with Junker Queen, right? Lucio is just such a good enabler for other characters because of his unique utility on speed that no other character has. Even if some other characters can speed boost, Junker Queen shouts, Kiriko's, it's not like Lucio where he can just toggle his aura and speed boost all the time if he wants. Yeah, and also in lower ranks people don't know how to utilize speed as well. Not just the Lucios don't understand the value, the other players don't also know how to utilize the speed because, well, they don't even know positioning, right? So yeah. I wish that we had better tools to learn in-game. The game doesn't do a good job on that. The game doesn't even tell you numbers if you try to look at those in-game. Okay, let me learn Genji. Let me press this button. Okay, I can throw some shurikens. Okay, how much damage does my shurikens do? Unsheath a deadly melee weapon. Alright, how much damage do the swings do? Why can't I see these things here? Right? The game does a terrible job of teaching players. So unless you're actually like looking for these things to learn outside of Overwatch in, let's say, YouTube, Twitch, right? Stuff like this where I'm trying to help others and others also do this kind of stuff, educational content, right? You're probably not going to be learning those, or you're going to be learning those slowly through trial and error. Or maybe you already know some of those things because you have played other FPS games before, right? Maybe you know positioning because you played something else, right? But yeah. Also, I think that my damage did not drop, yeah. So I don't think that I can drop from top 500 here. I think it should be in like 5 hours. No, 4 hours. I think it's 4 hours max for the patch. Around 4 hours. I don't know if it's like in 4 hours or 3 hours that the patch for Season 2 hits, but I should end in top 500 DPS. As well as top 100 combined. Top 100 combined is more chill to stay because it's harder to climb in here, right? I've been in this spot for like a long time, it hasn't changed, while my DPS has changed at quite a few spots. It was 459 I think 2 days ago, but yeah. Where is the auto replay? Let's go. It was Root, I believe. The auto replay? Yes, Route 66. And this is gonna be Worst Plat, Division, 4th Division. There we go. 4th Division, Route 66. Yeah, I don't think that Blizzard should just babysit the players and think, okay, here new player, here's how you use cover, here's how you do this, here's how you do that, because those are things that you learned not only over months, over years even, right? There are a lot of different concepts in Overwatch. There's stuff that I'm still, after over 4 years, I'm still trying to work on and improve, right? And there's stuff that I'm never gonna stop trying to work and improve. So definitely can see how not really Blizzard's jobs to do that. And also, depending on how much Blizzard tried to help the players, it could be seen as the players could see like, no, I want to learn myself, I don't want Blizzard to be telling me everything I need to be doing, right? But it is just like insane just how little Blizzard tries to do to help you, right? Like the tutorial in this game is a joke, for example, and they don't even have damage numbers on the hero information screen, right? I mean, maybe that would be interesting. I don't mind not seeing the damage numbers, but that's also because I'm very used to the game, right? I don't really need to see the damage numbers to know that the damage that is going around, because I know, okay, my teammates are this and that, so if they land a shot and then I land this many shots, that player is dead. I don't need to actually see the damage numbers to be able to see that. But damage numbers work in a game like Apex, right? And you can toggle them, and there are also different options for the damage numbers. So I don't see how that could hurt Overwatch, really.
Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Escort the payload.
Okay, respect the Hanzo. And yeah, considering that your caster already killed Chu, very much just focus the cooking out of position. And that was a pretty fast first fight win. Well, they're not gonna get punished for that. I actually don't see any problem doing that. Good kill. She was down in her cooldowns because she used them aggressively. So the opponents just fed a lot. Ooh. The one problem I have with this play is that if you don't kill the Ana, you're dead. Right? You force the duel of her, try to get close to her to try to finish with the dash, and then you also burn your deflect. And then you're picking a bunch of enemy players, right? You could very easily be screwed there if that if you didn't get the kill on the Ana. And from what I remember, that kill on the Ana was because she naded your deflect instead of nading herself to sustain, right? Okay. Doesn't seem like you need to blade, but against Sim-Wall I would definitely not be scared to blade, because the blade is gonna ignore the Sim-Wall existence. And especially considering that it's very close to the end of a checkpoint, because of the difference in spawns, it's very worth to over-ult. Or rather, it's way better to over-ult than under-ult and not get it, right? Over-ult and get the checkpoints rather than under-ult and not get it. I don't quite like the timing of this Nano Blade. You wanna know why? Look at these people that you killed during the Nanoblade. Look at where the point is. They're still gonna get a contest. I feel like you Nanobladed a little bit too early. You Nanobladed when the cart was in a position where it was chill fight territory. Where if you let the cart move just a little bit forward and then you Nanoblade and then you wipe the enemy team, then you're in one fight territory and you don't get a contest. I feel like the timing of that blade could have been better and you didn't need to blade that early because one, the opponents all had full cooldowns, but they didn't necessarily something that prevents you from blading. If they're on full cooldowns, then they're all gonna focus you. But usually it's better for you to have someone else take their focus, have someone else take their cooldowns. And also, while they're not actively trying to fight and actually stop the payload, you can just let the payload go up for free, right? I don't have to do anything crazy. Ooh, dangerous, dangerous. Barely got out alive, but that was definitely greedy.
Retaliation is swift.
And yeah, the timing of the Nanoblade could now cost you a bunch of time considering that you didn't get the cap.
Bad guys.
Insta deflect after dash depends on the circumstance. There are some scenarios where you want to just dash in to help someone, right? And then you deflect, for example. That can be a very valid moment for you to just go in, dash, insta deflect, right? But also, if you're dashing in and instantly deflecting, that also probably means that you put yourself in such a dangerous situation where you are risking dying the moment that you dash in and you got shot during your dash, right? So that's something that you have to be careful about. Definitely something to be careful about, right? There's also things about if you dash in, then deflect instantly, right? And then, wait, what do you do? If you don't get the kill and you don't get your dash reset, how do you get out, right? Unless you're properly positioned, then you can just use the map positioning to the map geometry to stay safe. Maybe you die because of that. While if you just dashed in, try to do some stuff, but then you start backing up and only deflect when you need, you can actually make it to cover, right? Yo, what up, Henan? How are you doing? So, cooldown cycling is definitely interesting. There are moments where you're gonna be wanting to instantly deflect, there are moments where you're gonna be trying to hold your deflect, there are moments that you're gonna deflect up instead of dashing in, right? There are moments where you don't even want to use cooldowns in, you want to use pathing, right? You want to, instead of going from here and dashing in to get close to these people, you just come out of spawn, go over here, crouch, walk, get close, and now you don't have to dash in. Now you can use your dash to brawl with these people. If they get low, you dash them and kill. If not, you dash out, right? Lots of different things. Genji's cooldowns are flexible. And that lets him do a lot of different plays depending on the situation. Yeah, also there is that. But then there is no reason for you to insta deflect after dash. That's the thing. Then there isn't a problem of the play being necessarily bad. Oh hey, insta deflect after dash is a bad habit. No. Deflecting without being in danger, without the opponents being in a position where they're gonna be shooting you, is a bad habit. It's not necessarily that the dash deflect play is bad, right? There you have to make a distinction because you're attributing the wrong thing, right? You're attributing an idea the wrong thing because the idea isn't actually the correct idea that you should be blaming. Does that make sense?
Step rider.
And yeah, now this should be the game, or rather the round. But you can see you lost over a minute because of the nano blade that was timed a little bit too early. So you're gonna be poking here, which is good. I would always just start maps that I can start like this. I would always just start in a position where I can look at spawn, spam them and spawn, but especially scout them early, right? The earlier that you get to actually see the enemy comp, the easier. The better for your team, rather. Because the moment that you know the enemy comp, you can think, okay, this is a composition where we can't give them space. For example, if you're playing into snipers, you cannot really give them space. The less space you give them, the better, right? If you give snipers the whole map worth of space, then they're just gonna be getting the best sightlines in the map and just rolling you with them, right? Jonathan Vice. I wasn't sure if that was the case or if you called for a nano. But yeah, that's definitely one of the things that could happen there, and you don't have control over it, unfortunately. In the case that the Ana just nanos you like that, I do think that blading in that situation is better than not blading. I do think that. Most likely, at least. Unless you can actually make stuff with just the base kits. But I think that in that situation you were too far away from the enemies and you needed the blade to actually be able to close the gap and do stuff. But yeah, I would always just start here, be able to poke. Obviously not trying to get one shot by a widow or something, so I would always be careful, maybe even just deflect preemptively. Just to be able to see the enemy comp early, to be able to tell my team, okay, do you want to hold here or do I want my Reinhardt to move up to this corner and hold here or whatever, right? I just always value scouting very highly. You can always even tell the enemy comp to your team without even calling it out in voice chat now, because you can ping. That's something that I often do. I just ping the opponents that I see so that my team knows who they are, even if they aren't in voice, right? That deflect was a waste. Also, quick comments. One, this deflect was a waste. The chance that the Genji one-shots you there is basically zero. You would probably need to hit triple headshot from a primary fire to be able to one-shot you. And then even if he does a lot of damage to you, right? You can just deflect and stay safe and then your team heals you up, right? So you don't need to burn your deflect early like that. Also, another comment over here, you can just shoot through this, and you can also even contest the payload through here if you want. So you can try to be very obnoxious if you want, but just wall climbing, dropping, and then just picking the card from time to time to be able to completely stop it from moving. Different positions, maybe you pick over here, maybe you wall climb and drop, wall climb and drop. Contest the payload, shoot your opponent from here. But obviously they can also shoot you. But here, in this position, you obviously want to dash him to try to help, guarantee that he dies from this nade, but also you want to dash and then dash back. You can deal 100 AoE because you don't need to be the one finishing the Genji. You know that he's gonna die from the explosion. Since you know that he's gonna die to a ticking time bomb, right? He's dead on a timer. You can just dash in to get the mobility and the damage, and then you get the dash reset very soon after, and then you immediately dash back, dealt a bunch of damage, pressure the enemy squishes a lot, especially not so much the hog, but better than what ended up happening. Not like what ended up happening is bad, but It could have been better, right? What up, Michael? I think this is gonna be the last VOD today. Because I won't have much time after this. I'm gonna eat and then I have to get out of home for a few hours. And then by the time I come back, I'm gonna be the new season is gonna be out. So I'm pretty sure that I'm just gonna end this VOD and then I'm gonna end the stream and go eat. You sent a VOD? If your VOD gets deleted by the patch, Circuit Royale one, let me see. Alright, that's it. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, your VOD is probably gonna be getting deleted. But if you submit another VOD, then I'm gonna be keeping your old position in queue in mind, right? So for example, the VODs that I'm reviewing today are not the first spots, quote unquote, right? In the current available VOD list, I'm reviewing the 4th and the 7th spots in the queue. But that's because those are actually people that submitted back in October and have yet to get their VOD reviewed because they just got old replays deleted. Can this work, please? Thank you. So if you get your VOD deleted because of a new patch, right, and you resubmit, I'm gonna be keeping in mind your old position so that at some point, right, when everyone that was ahead of you gets their VOD reviewed, you're gonna be getting yours in the correct moment, right? You're not gonna be just getting, okay, if you submit early, right after a patch hits, you get to get reviewed, and otherwise you don't, right? That would be unfair, and that will also promote people submitting VODs that aren't necessarily good, just submitting the first VODs that they get, right? Which would be bad. No. So resubmitting now wouldn't do anything. Also, if you submit another one now, you would have 2 submissions in the same patch. And so I would delete one of them or ask you to delete one of them because I only allow 1 submission at a time, right? My queue is already bigger than I can handle, right? So most replays end up getting deleted anyways. But so that's why like having people submit 2 VODs at a time wouldn't even make sense, right? Feels weird on defense. Wait, let me actually answer the questions in order. Yes. If people are toxic, you shouldn't bother with them. They're not worth your time, but definitely kills matter way more than damage. Why is Widow a better pick in high level than Junkrat? Very often. Because Widow, while she does way less damage, she picks off people way more because she can just one-shot people. Junkrat can also one-shot people, but it's a different kind of one-shot, right? The thing that you should consider about defense is 1, the difference in risk and reward. And this is honestly a video that I should make. This is an idea that someone gave me a long time ago. I make a video on this, and this is a video that I really want to make. Honestly, there are way too many videos that I want to make, right? If I could make all the videos that I wanted, it would be like years worth of content that I have planned. So much stuff. But if you consider defense, instead of, let's say, having to path around, try to get to the enemy to be able to dash out and not have the risk of having to dash in, for example, think of defense as free pathing, because since you get to set up first, you get to hold powerful positions. So instead of having to get to those positions, you are already holding them, and you're just waiting for your opponents to walk in for you to be able to execute a play from those positions, right? You can also play to deny space. And also, it's not like attack and defense are just completely different, right? On attack, you're also gonna have some defense fights, and on defense, you're gonna have some attack fights. You wanna know why? Because if you just lost a fight on defense, now the opponents get to hold space, and you are having to retake onto their territory. So you, even though you are on the grand scale of things, you are defending, you are for that fight attacking them because you have to take their positions away from them. You have to fight with a disadvantage, right? Yun, welcome, and I will be probably just doing it live, and sometimes I turn some of the live reviews into videos if I feel like they ended up being stuff that, like, if they ended up being a very good VOD that others can easily learn from, right, and it has some really good points, right? So sometimes I will turn VODs into live VODs into videos, right? And obviously whenever I do that, I ask for permission from the person that got reviewed. I ask them from permission to post them on a video, right? But yeah, to me it's very weird how people say that, or people think that Genji, for example, is better in attack than defense. Because in a lot of times, I just think that Genji on defense is better. Because on defense, you don't have to bother pathing and stuff like that. You just have the map space already, so you can be pre-set up, right? Dorado is a really good map as an example, right? Dorado first point, think about all of the high grounds, think of all the buildings that you can be set up, hiding in them, waiting to just drop on your opponents, right? Winston is an even better example, because Winston can just stay on one of those buildings, boom, drop, shield, brawl a little bit, jump back up to the building, get healed by a support that can heal at range, then wait his cooldown cycle, drop onto the payload, use bubble, maybe, or just drop without his bubble and then jump back sooner, right? But think about that. Instead of having to jump in, he's just using that building to... He's using that high ground to just be able to drop without using a mobility cooldown, to be able to use a mobility cooldown out, and then he just keeps doing the cycle. Dorado is one of the best maps for dive, and you're gonna be running dive on defense, and dive on defense there is extremely powerful because of that, right? So defense is arguably better for Genji than offense, right? One of the problems that are gonna come from this is the risk to reward, right? You dying there on defense matters way more than them dying because their spawn is closer. But that also is gonna change depending on where the cart is, right? If the cart is not just completely here, but it's close to the end of the checkpoints, then the spawns are gonna be either even or favored for the defense. So the risk reward for you is gonna be better, right, than the opponent. Pathing is exactly as the name suggests, right? Walking around the map, thinking about which path you're taking, right? It's obviously much easier said than done. You have to understand the maps, you have to understand your character, you have to understand the enemy, the team comps, you have to understand the objective status. There are lots of things that you have to consider. But I do have a pathing guide that it's from Overwatch 1. I want to make an updated version for Overwatch 2, but it's still a very valid guide that you could check out if you're curious about pathing. And also, I'm gonna be releasing map guides. I'm gonna start making map guides in Overwatch 2 soon. And those should also help with stuff like pathing, because I'm gonna be talking about comps, I'm gonna be talking about routes that are usually gonna be taking, powerful positions, rotations, all this kind of stuff, right? And this was just another random nano, I would guess. You could have killed the Moira, I'm pretty sure. Let me see. Let me go to the Moira POV. So you're here and you pull out Blade, here she calls. If you... this would be very tough. Right now you can kill her with dash. Now you can't anymore. If you did the swing and instantly did the dash, I think you kill her. I'm always scared of trying to just do a double swing dash into the Moira because of how fast she can heal. And also because of the other support in this case. What up Aiden, how are you doing? But you could have done that. Also you ended up missing your dash unfortunately. You know what I would have done instead of focusing the Moira? Well, not in the case of the Cole because the Cole would just out heal my damage. But without the Cole, I wouldn't even go for the Moira, I would just go for the Ana. You can obviously also go for the Moira, but especially in the moment where you're not as close as you would like to at the start. Although you did get close to her, that was mostly on her mistake, not on you actually going on a good effort to do this, right? You mostly pulled out the blade as a reaction to them getting a pick and outing, right? You can obviously just hook the Moira and just force out the fade and follow the fade, but then the thing is, you don't have to bother with this mobility with Ana, you have to bother with different types of cooldowns, right? Instead of bothering with fade, you're bothering with sleep and nade, but you run the same risk no matter which target you go for, which is one of the supports pocketing the other supports and out healing your damage. So this is not like an easy blade at all. Lots of cooldowns to consider, and also the high healing output. I don't blame you for blading here and trying to collect this. 1, you're down nano. 2, they are also spending a bunch of ultimates. Also, what are you gonna blade after? Think about this. If you save the blade, when are you gonna be wanting to blade next? Maybe when the payload gets around here, because with the staggers that your team is getting, they're probably gonna get some decent progress done. So let me change how I'm sitting. I don't know. I don't think it is the worst decision ever to try to class this fight with Blade. I don't think it's also bad for you to try to hold the Blade. I think both have very valid arguments for you to be doing them. I think that when you're trying to Blade in a situation like that, when it's 4v5, especially when they call and nano, you really have to try to make a very valuable play, right? So either, let's say, you kill the Moira and stay alive, or you kill the Moira and the Ana and die for it, or maybe you kill both of them and get out alive, or whatever, right? The main problem here isn't if blading was good or not. The main problem here is that your execution lacks, right? If you actually execute it properly, that Moira dies to you. And then maybe you can even kill the Ana or live, right? And then, let's say that you just kill the Moira and live, it's still a 44, right? It's still very winnable. So, main problem here shouldn't be, or rather, your main worry shouldn't be if that was a good moment to blade or not. It should be your execution. There are moments where you can dry blade and try to make an enter pick, but those are very specific scenarios, I think. Blade is definitely way better than tempo ultimates, unless you have a really big enabler like a damage boost. I don't see a reason for you to just be sniping here. Who is here on the enemy team? Because the Genji just died, right? And before the Genji wasn't here. If the Genji was here, you could duel him and try to prevent him from taking positioning, right? So why not just take a position like this? A more advanced corner that makes landing your shurikens easier and makes it easier and puts you in a position where you can actually dash your opponents to drop low, because now you're too far away, but from here you can dash them. You can also dash through, maybe go for Mega or just dash through and try to rotate and go get safe if you're under pressure like that, but I don't think it's worth it. It's probably just better for you to hold a position like this. But who's gonna be here to prevent you from taking this position or just force you out of this position, right? If you take some damage, you can just drop back and get healed by your Ana. You're gonna have a LOS on you. And you can just hold this forward position, and if you feel like you are in a position where the opponent might be able to damage you or kill you, then you just dash back to your team, right? So I would like to just have you walk up to this position instead of just playing Sniper Genji, because the closer you are to your targets as Genji, the more likely you are to hit your shots, because the projectile speed for Genji is so slow that shots at range are not reliable, right? So the less range that there is, the less you have to consider the projectile speed, the less the projectile speed really matters, and thus the shots are more consistent to land, right? The closer you are. Good, get out. Wasn't greedy. There, Genji. Actually, he is gonna get value with this, but yeah, he fucked up after if he dashed at you. So you're still in a 4v4. You only have Lucio heals though, that's something to be aware of. Oof, and yeah, you fucked up there. There is no reason for you to be AFK in here, waiting for your team. You wanna know why? You can, one, come out, try to poke a little bit, and then bounce back as needed while you wait for your team to get back. Or, more importantly, you can take this route. Get out from this door, which often goes unchecked. Then, even if it goes checked, you can probably just go to the Mega, and then they either can't chase you or they don't want to chase you, because then they're gonna be giving you a fair duel. And then you can take an angle. If you are allowed to walk up here, then your team is coming out, but you at least can touch and not have your team rush through this door frame, this choke, to touch point and just get screwed, because you can touch the point, right? Or you can actually use this position to even further flank and actually look for picks, right? Because who's gonna contest the Ana in a position that's this far back, unless it's you from a very far flank, right? So I would have just used all of this downtime to actually come out from this door, right? This door frame, this choke. Not often it goes unchecked, to actually take a good position, take an angle where I can pincer the enemy team, take an angle that I can actually scout the enemy team for my team so that they know when they can walk out or not, right? So many good things from this. And you just wasted this time by waiting for your team.
Copy that.
You're also just hoping that the enemy hog doesn't land a hawk on you. Look at this. Look at where the hog is. Look at what you do. Look at that. The hog could have at any point look at you and probably had a clean LOS to just hook you and kill you. Because you did not respect him at all. You didn't dash to make the rotation, you didn't deflect to make the rotation. More importantly, you didn't even look at him. if you at least look at him, you can try to deflect reactively and save the cooldown if they doesn't go for it. But then even look at him, right? Look at where you're looking at. New season update? No, it's only the like, okay, there's a new patch available, then the current active users, right, the current users that have the game open are gonna have to close the game, right, to update. Then they update and then the season is immediately live, right? There is no like, okay, we have to wait 2 hours for the servers to update and then you can log into the game.
I am restored.
Did she have Fade? Where's Mario? She had Fade. So this is just straight up a very bad dash. No reason for you to be going for her in that situation. So you shouldn't have gone for the Moria, you should have immediately gone for the Ana. Or you should have walked up to the Moria, swung her, forced the fade, then you dash to follow. But also one quick tip that I want to give. Here on the Sojourn, you swung and you're still in animation. Look at how close you are to dropping. If you drop and walk climb, you can cancel the animation of the swing. Or rather, you can cancel the animation of the shift that's gonna come right after the swing, right? Which is gonna be very good. Because then you don't have to be doing nothing during that. You're gonna be able to deflect, and obviously you can't just cancel the rest of the animation of the swing with the deflect. But then you run into the problem that right after you have the shift animation. So here I would have just swung, immediately dropped down here, walk climbed, cancel the shift animation, and you can already shoot shurikens. You can even just do a very clean combo where you swing, drop, quickly walk climb, you're up here again, you triple body shot melee her, or you just headshot and kill her, right? And then it just looks like you just basically one-shot her, when you actually didn't, and you just did a two-step process of one swing, then go back to your base kit by doing this animation cancel and go up here and actually finish her, right? And that would have looked really, really clean too. It wouldn't just be very practical and very useful, it would have been very clean.
Killing time. Enemy turret ahead. Yosh! Enemy turret destroyed.
60 seconds.
Enemy turret destroyed. The wind blows in my favor.
So our team is gonna be winning this fight. Did you see how much downtime you had at the start though? When you were just poking. Why not just hold a position like this? If they come close, then you're in a position where you can either duel them, or you can try to just get a good deflect or something, right? But you're at least trying to hold them close. And if you're in a position where you know I have to run, guess what? You just run. You don't have to stay there, but you at least try to hold a good position. Or you just go here and try to hold them close, and if you can't, and if nothing happens, if no opportunity arises and you get forced out, you just get forced out and then you go back to the position here. This should be the position that you fall back to, not the position that you default to, right? Because the moment that you win the fight and you have the time to hold a better position, or a more advanced position like this, that has no downside, you should be doing so. And I say no downside because, well, of course you can just hold this position and end up feeding from overextending. But if you played your cards right, there is no reason for you to die here. And then you just get benefits, right? You get the benefits, and then once you get forced out, then you dash out and then you go back to the position that you were at. and you poked from a bunch, right? And then that way you got way more effective than just staying back and poking a bunch. And this is not a play that you should have done. Let's see, was there anyone even actually remotely low? No! No one was even remotely low. It was just a bad play. You dash him without even having your deflect, without being close to any good rotation that you can do to stay safe. So no, this was a big feed. And a very important moment of the fight too, because this is gonna be overtime soon. So you feeding here is big problem. You're not respecting the hog. Your Cassidy dies, but that Cassidy could have been you. And now you're also again not using the downtime properly. You're already setting up for third. When your team, okay, your team doesn't go, but you could have been already set up. And even if you don't contest, you could have poked at least. Even if you don't poke, right? Look at this position. This is very good. If you get here and your opponents don't know, which is easier to do when this door is closed and your opponents are far away so that you can't hear, then let's say that the Anna tries to play this position, try to have long sight lines and feel like she can see everyone coming to her, and then she feels like she's very safe because oh she's in a good position, right? So no one is gonna surprise her and kill her, so she just stays hard scoped. And then you pick your head out, you see the Anna triple headshot dash, she's dead. Right? No reason for you not to use this downtime. And then you're again defaulting to very passive positions. Now you're moving up. Now you're in a little bit of a better position. But I would still say that you can be playing closer. Yeah, exactly, you can be playing here. This is an okay dash because you have this high ground that you can play. You still have your deflect to rotate. Why exactly are you rotating like this? Let's go back. Why are you doing the rotation? You have this. You can go inside. You're completely safe. So why are you rotating in the open? You have your dash available. Why would you try to go down here with the hog and dash in there when you can dash here and take a mega instead of a mini? Yeah, that deflect ended up being a waste, and you should not have picked him again. You should have just waited in here to get healed, because your opponents were very unlikely to be able to kill you. You should have just waited for Anna to heal you. No reason for you to die there. You could also have just waited for a deflect to be able to rotate inside. You could also, instead of trying to immediately rotate to the mega, you could have tried to just get here and you immediately cut the corner. And then the Reaper can see you, and then you wait for a deflect, and then you rotate. Oh, I'm hungry. Those are some good kills. Unfortunately, it's gonna be barely not enough, right?
Let's kick this off.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's barely not enough. But that was good. You now have a massive time advantage. But yes, you could have won, not thrown second points by cheating. And you could also have
Maybe one day we'll go on missions in Hawaii.
maybe held if you got a better nanoblade in there or something. But I feel like the big thing was second point, not third. But it's not like this is the worst thing in the world, right? Definitely still Very, very winnable with this time advantage. Unfortunately, it seems like your tank DC'd, but
And this stuff
doesn't mean that you have to lose, because one, your tank can come back and chew. With this time bank advantage, you can probably try to win out of ultimates, right? But the problem is, you're down a tank. Does this mean that you have to be playing bad positions? No. Why are you not playing here? Same thing. If you get forced out, then you back up. But you shouldn't default to this position and then if you see a Widow here, then you dash her. No, you should be defaulting here and then if you see a Widow, you don't even have to use a cooldown to get to her. Then you can force her out. If she drops low, then you can finish her. And if she gets forced out, you go back. If I see that Tamora faded up here and my team is taking picks, I would either one, get out and live, or choose, take this opportunity that Tamora gave me by fading up here, and just take the duo close range and try to kill her fast and make things even somehow, right? Maybe I kill her, from killing her I feel more free to actually go for the Ana, then I kill the Ana, and then maybe we can clutch this after. Maybe I die but get chewed, so then my team has a 3v3 when they come back. Maybe I kill Chew and play my life. Maybe I immediately after killing the Ana, I dash, I hide in here, then I can drop, maybe take the Mega. Wait, where's the Mega? Here. Take the Mega, come back to the fights, pincer the enemy team when my team comes back, right? But what you did was just stagger.
subsides, and I am born again.
Okay, our tank is back. Your Ana fed, your Kiriko fed. Now it's important for you to play your life, so you don't stagger. Your Hog doesn't play his life and his staggers. Very nice. Now your Hog, not Hog, you know, your Cassidy feeds the Hog. And yeah, I think that you can't be the one that's bothering with points, you have to be the one going for the Widow. The Widow is currently playing for completely free because you have not set up to kill her once. You have to position yourself in such a way that you can actually deal with the Widow. So wow, in 2 whole points, you didn't even farm a single blade. You didn't set up to kill the Widow once. You didn't take the duo of the Moria. You basically didn't do anything. Right? So in this whole defense round, the only reason that the card stopped here was because your team picked up the slack and won this. So you had literally zero agency over whether or not you get to actually hold them here or not. Alright, have a good one, Simon. So this was definitely a very, very bad round, right? I'd have liked to see you. You don't have to play for ults, but especially when you're down the tank, you can just play, okay, let's farm Nano Blade and win through Nano Blade. We can win even with a disadvantage with Nano Blade, right? And then maybe the tank comes back, or you just play for, let's say, 2 Nano Blades, right? So, the enemy has 1 minute while your team has 4. You just Nano Blade and stop them, and then you just Nano Blade twice to guarantee 2 fights on your attack, and then you can win from that, right? Or you just set up to kill the Widow, or you wait for opportunities and play your life, or whatever, right? But you didn't do anything in that round. So it was definitely just fully on your team there
5, 4, 3,
to hold them.
1. Attackers incoming. Escort the payload.
The payload progresses.
Nice. Ooh. Yeah. Either deflect or dash out, right? Very good pick, and then you immediately give it away by dying. So that you, one, can't prevent the res, and two, you also die and trade with them. In the middle of her team, you can, for example, when she was here, right? You are at least set up around here. So then if you see that she hard scopes and then you have an angle on her so that she can see you, you can try to line up a triple headshot dash to kill her. Or you can just annoy her, try to take away her time, and when you get forced out, then you dash back to safety. Or you try to live in the backline if you need by going over to this mega, right? And then just staying alive, waiting for your cooldown cycle. The opponents possibly don't want to chase you unless it's a hog, because then you can try to just screw them up close range, because Genji is strong close range, right? Lots of, hey, I'm on defense, I can let the opponents walk into me, right? I can hide in the position, maybe if the Widow is trying to use this, and I can just hide in here, or just hide in here, wait, so that I can get close to her and then deal with her, right? The problem is, if you play from a position like this and the Widow is there, the Widow is not scared of you. The Widow knows that even if you triple headshot her, you're not killing her, and then you're not in position to dash and finish. So she's not scared of you. And then you can easily be forced out, because since the Widow's not scared, she's gonna just be shooting you and trying to force you out, right? And if you try to dash in, then you're probably dead. Then there's probably just no way that the enemy team can't punish you in time, right? Also, what's up with my frames? Can you stop dropping frames, please? I would love that. Thank you. Stop dropping frames.
I'm with you.
Be careful, Shiva.
I am restored.
Yeah, this is probably a fight that you lose. And one problem that I have. 2 minutes in, 69% outcharge, right? 72, 73, 74. I don't think that Genji is a blade bot, but I'm gonna be using your ult chart to show just how little we have been doing in these 2 minutes. Usually in 2 minutes, most characters have farmed their ultimates, right? Genji included, right? Even if you're not focusing on getting the ult chart, right? Even if you're just focusing on, okay, I'm gonna duel, I'm gonna win the duels, I'm gonna contest targets, I'm gonna whatever, right? You probably are gonna have farmed your ultimate in 2 minutes. So you having done this little is problematic, because this goes to show that you're losing the player agency. Right? On the first and second round, your team was dominant. Now that your team is now that you are lacking, your team is suddenly struggling, right? And the enemy team that had a massive time disadvantage is now just threatening to win the game, right? Like, you're playing way too passively. Considering that if you're gonna be playing this passive, this scared, at least do cooldown rotations. At least dash into the soldier, deflect, rotate, maybe rotate to the mini, or you deflect and rotate back to your team, right? Like this. But you at least do something that at least pressures him out, helps your team with damage, maybe your team contributes to the damage on him and kills him or something, right? Instead of just doing this that you're doing, which is basically nothing, right? You're basically just existing and not doing anything. Waiting for stuff to happen. Instead of actively position yourself to have stuff happen, right? And when you tried for the first time to actually do something, you fucked up your exit, right, by dashing your wall. It feels to me like you just lost your confidence. Just completely feels to me like you lost your confidence. And losing confidence is a very scary thing. Because then you're gonna be playing more scared, and then you're gonna be not going for plays, and you're gonna lose effectiveness. You should not be letting that mercy res. You should just be dashing in and lining up triple headshot melee. There is no reason for you to not play extremely aggressive there in the mercy and letting her res the soldier. This blade also is a waste, right? Here's what I mean. I'm pretty sure that one of the main things that is causing your performance to drop here is the fact that your tank DC'd and they got, and then your team staggered, yourself included, didn't know what to do against enemy comp for a while, and only one ultimate and your team pushing in and playing aggressive and popping off on third point, right? So you started to lose confidence that you're gonna win the game, and this is affecting your play.
10 seconds.
Like, why are you here? Why are you playing payload? Why are you not playing aggressive? Why are you not taking good position and staying up here, right? Look at this, your Winston is making plays on his own. Why are you not in there with him? Preventing the mercy from resing, making his life easier. Your Winston is not required to kill people on his own, right? This is what I want you to be doing. I want you to be there, actually looking for the... There's the soldier, yes, he's visoring, he's also feeding. So go at him, force a duel, and just beat him. Your Kiriko did not ult? Are you real? For you? There's just absolutely no way that your Kiriko doesn't ult and you still manage to win this. See just how much more you're doing now that you're confident? Now that you actually were forced to play aggressive, now that you were forced to stay in the cart and actually brawl it up. And yes, it's not ideal for you to brawl with the Rhine and stuff, but the moment that you were forced to actually make plays and clutch, you actually did something, right? Well, in the moment that you were scared and you weren't setting yourself up for success, you weren't doing anything. But look at that, now you have a 15-player kill streak. That's what I mean. This really goes to showcase just how much Genji is a close-range character, and just how much confidence affects the way that you play. One, you lost confidence, and two, when you're close range, you're way more effective than when you're long range, right? So this is a really good example of these things. And I think that's gonna be the main point for me from this replay. Obviously, it's possible to be overconfident and end up feeding from that, but I would much rather have you be actually looking to make plays and fail at making those plays than not making plays at all, right? I would much rather have that. Also, did I start dropping many frames? What's up with that? My dropped frames counter reset. Did I drop a bunch of frames? But yeah, I'm gonna be ending the stream now though. These have been the 2 reviews that I had time to do for today. I'm gonna go eat, and then when I come back home, it's gonna be season 2. So yeah, I hope the what we see on Twitter Space, the talk about balance isn't actually bad, but I have a feeling that we're gonna get more of the same dumb stuff that we got in the first time. Your question remains unanswered? No. I did answer your question. You're gonna come back in the VOD and see it, but I did answer your question, actually. Yeah, and the confidence thing, I also, and not just me, everyone struggles with this at some points or another, right? Yeah, don't worry. Everyone struggles with it at some point or another, right? I had something similar happen recently. I've had people that I have coached that had issues like that, right? That they're working on. But yeah. Have a good one, everyone. I'll be seeing you all in the next time. Bye bye.